Good morning and welcome back to my garden, to my Gardens and Getaways family. I appreciate all of you that have liked, shared, subscribed. I'm new to this whole YouTube journey and I'm excited to bring you along with me. Part of the reason I'm doing this channel is just as much for you as it is for me, to show that you can garden in small spaces, you can garden in containers, you can garden in ground. It doesn't matter how you do it, just do it. But also for me so that I can document what I plant, because I'm really bad about putting stuff in the ground and then forgetting what I put there. So let's get started and I'll show you how everything's coming along. So here's the pink Brandywine tomato. It is loving this pot. This is proof that you can use anything to container garden. Just make sure you got drainage holes down in it so that it doesn't flood. But also sometimes with these bigger pots, you do have to water more frequently. We've got the French marigolds here. Got these beautiful, beautiful pink Brandywine tomatoes. These things are like the size of my hand. They're going to be gorgeous, and we got quite a few more coming up in there. To the left of the pot along this fence line, I've got some sunflowers coming up. These are the mammoth sunflowers, so they will get to be, you know, way taller than this fence that we had to put up to keep the deer and the dogs out. First garden bed that I usually start with is here. These are the excuse me, the zucchini plants. They are looking wonderful. Got some beautiful flowers down there. I did put in some stakes because I am going to try to grow these vertically, trim off the bottom leaves. I've never done that before, but it seems to work for other people, especially when it comes time to the pest pressure, the squash vine borer. So I'm going to try that. Oh, look at that beautiful cucumber coming on. Beautiful. Not quite ready yet. Cucumbers are ready when you can kind of roll off these spiky things a little bit more, break the ends off. They'll snap off when they're ready. You don't want them to get too big though, because your cucumbers will quit producing once they are too big. You can see the cucumbers going up this cattle panel here that we've got going over to the other bed. This is why the cattle panel works so well. Sometimes you do have to train them up a little bit, take them and just stick them where you want them, but their little tendrils and leaves will grab on and hold tight. So occasionally I've got to come kind of coach them in where to go, but other than that, this is a way for them to grow vertically. You can see your fruits a lot better. They're not on the ground, so you don't get like browning of your fruit. The plants just stay a lot healthier for a lot longer. The cucumbers, I did plant this side first, this side second, and then another little late planting here third, because the roly-polies ate my seed starts. So I've kind of got them in 3 different stages, but that's also good, having that succession planting so that you get crops regularly. And then as these start to peter out, I will actually throw some more seeds into a self-starting tray, get some more cucumbers going, because in my area I can grow cucumbers really up into the fall if we're having a pretty mild fall, early fall. Look how large that leaf is on those zucchinis. That is just wild. Got the cantaloupe trailing off to the side like I wanted it to. That's beautiful. Really trying this Kajari melon, but I think it might get shaded out. If you peek back in here, you can see we've got some cosmos growing. Those cosmos will shine their heads up here and give us some pollinators, and we'll get more sun to those once I do start to cut back the leaves on this zucchini that's getting so big, and once I get it tied up to these poles. I do have some little baby zucchinis down in there, so I'm excited about that. We love to eat zucchini. It's important to grow stuff that you know your family's gonna eat. Zucchini, we can make it into casseroles. We stir fry it. I put it in my spaghetti, sneak some veggies in for the kids. We love doing like hibachi on the Blackstone with zucchini. So much you can do with it. Make zucchini bread when you get one too big. Got more sunflowers and zinnias over here. This is the pepper bed. So I'm going to do a video on my Vago garden beds later on, so be looking for that. But this is actually the exact same kit. These are a little bit older. You can see the red mud stains a little bit, but they come in different colors. We did this one as long and skinny, and this one in more of like a rectangular shape, these 3. So it's the same kit. You can build them to how you want them, which is very nice. But over here with our pepper plants, I do have some chives. The herbs are said to keep away the bad pest, so that's great. These pepper plants are looking wonderful. I've got 4 of the bell pepper plants. These are the rainbow bell peppers. Excited about that. We do have some little baby fruits down there and lots of flowers. I just love the flowers on vegetables, just like I love regular flowers. Stuck in some French marigolds around the garden. Those are said to help as well. I did have some basil that was getting crowded out by the zucchini in that other bed. This is the blue leaf basil, blue spice basil, blue leaf basil. So I planted that there. That's exactly what I mean. So I forget what I plant, so if I video document it, then I can remember, and you guys can help me remember, so that next year I know what worked, what didn't work. Anywho, 3 sweet banana pepper plants here. Those are looking okay. They were a little bit behind the other pepper plants. I bought them as starts, which is okay to do. Peppers can take a while to get going in my area. I just find that it's much easier to go with starts, and it's still pretty cheap if you get your starts from like the farmer's market. I got these from a plant sale at our local community college. I think I paid $2 for a 4-pack. So, I mean, really, like, don't go to your big box store for your starts if you can help it. If you've got other means, by all means do it. But I'm wondering if these were just started a little bit later than the bell peppers and the jalapeno peppers, because they're just a little bit smaller. Other than that, they look healthy. These are my little jalapeno pepper plants. Very excited about that. Hoping to do maybe some cowboy candy, which is like a pickled jalapeno. I'm not big into spicy, but if it's done like a jalapeno popper cowboy candy, I can eat it like that. More marigolds all around there. I'll spin over here to the other side of the cucumber bed, second cucumber bed that I had kind of showed earlier. On the corners, we've got the cucamelons, which is kind of like a little cross of the cucumber. A little bit finer vine. They produce these little balls that look like miniature watermelons mixed with cucumbers, but supposedly they taste like limes. I don't know. My kids like these. A friend of mine grows them. She gave them to my kids last year, and so she gave me some plants this year so I could put them in the ground. So I appreciate it. We'll see how they taste. I didn't actually get any last year, so we'll see. Got the squash trailing off to the side. No, it's not squash. Cantaloupe trailing off to the side. Beside the squash plants. Now, these squash plants I was able to go ahead and start tying up. So you can see where I've tied that a couple times. And got some beautiful baby fruit there. And look at that beautiful flower opened up, ready for some pollinators. Got some lettuce tucked in here. The squash helps to kind of shade it out, which is nice, so it doesn't get too hot. Lettuces generally don't like it hot. And I did come through in all these little bare spots the other day. I threw in some romaine seeds just to try to get some more lettuce. This is my Black Beauty eggplant. Eggplants, like peppers, tend to produce a little bit later for me. Wondering if I should have done more than one eggplant, but we've got one right now. So hopefully we get some. With the eggplant is, I like it. My family doesn't really eat it, so that's why I only planted one. I only try to plant stuff that I know my family's gonna eat. The cucumbers, my family will get down on those. A lot of times they eat them before I can even turn them into pickles or anything. And same with the tomatoes. We eat those so many different ways. I hope to can some, but the eggplant, I'm going to be the only one eating it. I might share some with my mom, so there's no point in planting a ton of it, you know, if I'm the only one eating it. We've got the cucumbers. Look, this one just took off on itself. Went all the way sideways to grow up that trellis, however it needs to do it. Even the cucamelon over there you can see is growing on to that trellis, which is wonderful. This whole thing will be covered soon, which will be very nice. Cantaloupe on this side trailing off to this side as well. So all of this bare area is going to be covered by cantaloupe soon, and even covered by watermelon soon. In the next bed over, you can see the watermelons are starting to sprawl over the side. I tried to give them a good growing area, give them a lot of space. They do need a lot of space. They're heavy feeders, but I want to give them tons of room to trail. And with raised beds, That's one thing you've got to think about is your trailing vines and what you're going to do with them, whether it be vertically or letting them grow in your paths. And look what I spy. Oh, can you see that? See if we can get a little bit closer. That is a baby watermelon. So as this vine grows out, we'll have watermelons just all in this little grassy path walkway area. The parsley, I keep saying I'm going to come out here and cut it and dehydrate it. Life has just been busy, so I haven't yet, but I really do need to get out here and do that. It's time to cut the oregano again as well. You can see where I cut it before, and it has, it's just bushed out even more. I'll show you that on the other side. Rosemary bush, still trying to decide, do we leave her? Do we put her in the ground? She's getting so big, but I'm so worried if I move her that she's not going to make it. I just love her so much. Lots of zinnias here. I planted these between my watermelons just to try to really get some good pollinators in here. I've got some beautiful buds on the top of those zinnias, so those will be blooming soon for us. Got another watermelon that's going to trail off the side. And this is what I was talking about over here, where you can see where I came through and cut the oregano, and you see where it just splits and continues to grow up. So all of this is new growth. So this stuff, you can whack it back as much as you want, and it is just gonna continue to grow. It smells so good. This plant right here is a Cherokee Purple. This pot is a little small. It was just what I had, and I had this plant and I didn't want it to go to waste, and I was running out of room, so I put it in there. The only thing is I have to water this thing like a mad woman because it does dry out so quickly. But I do see a little blushing tomato down there. So hopefully we'll have a Cherokee Purple soon. Cherokee Purple's probably one of my favorite slicing tomatoes. I just love the color, love the flavor of it. We'll go outside and look at the dahlias and lilies in a second outside of the fence. But this dahlia plant, even though it had some serious bug issues earlier, you can see where that leaf is deformed. It was eaten by the earwigs. We got a lot of rain. I was thinking maybe that was what was causing so many earwigs, because I had never really seen them here like that before. And since it hasn't been raining for 2 weeks straight like it was, they seem to have kind of left these plants alone now. But this is going to have a ton of beautiful flowers on it, like a ton. I cannot wait. I just love dahlias. They come back every year. They're beautiful. Tucked in some cosmos and zinnias down there for pollinators. Flowers are so important in the garden. They really are. This is my other Cherokee Purple plant. Look at that. Beauty. Beauty, beauty, beauty. Got another marigold plant over here. Marigolds are great for seed saving. We'll go through that later on in the season, but very easy to seed save. These are actually all from seeds that I saved from last year. You just rip off the pod heads and you can save the seed, which is very nice. The basil, just like the oregano, you can see where I had cut it down here and then it splits into 2 nodes. So I need to come through and thin that again. And definitely this basil over here, because you can see that is what it looks like when it's starting to go to flower or go to seed. The pollinators like that too, but I don't want that to happen. So I'm going to come through here probably tomorrow and harvest some basil, because I'm not ready for that plant to go to seed. I want it to produce all summer. I want it to get big and bushy for me. This is our little mystery tomato plant that my friend gave me that I up potted. She's looking good. We still don't know what she is, but that's okay. These are the Better Boy tomatoes. We've gotten quite a few off of these and quite a few off of our Romas so far this year. Look at all the fruit on these Romas. Just like the peppers, I actually bought these as plant starts. It's just easier for me. It's what works for me. And there's a little farm near my house that does tomato starts 3 for $10. Like, you cannot beat that. So just look around, look in your area, see what works for you. You can definitely find them way cheaper than what the big box stores are selling them for. And I think I see a couple Excuse me while I get all up in my tomato plants here. Look at that. Beautiful. I just came through and picked. This one is still a little orange. I'm going to leave that one till tomorrow. If I was going away for a few days, I would go ahead and pick that one and let it turn on the counter. But since I know I can get out here tomorrow, I'm not going to do that. I think I saw there's some more blushing ones down there. So those are looking good. I've just got these tied up to bamboo trellises. You'll hear me talk again and again about using what you've got. Yes, I did buy expensive raised beds. These are going to last me a long time. I'm going to do a video on these coming up soon just because I do love them so much. But the bamboo, this was on my father-in-law's property. We cut it last year. We're using it as stakes. So there are ways that you can save money by just using what you've got around your house. Some of these stakes that I have my squash and zucchini going up, those were old tobacco stick stakes that my stepdad gave me. He just said, I'm getting rid of these. Do you want them? I said, yes, I do. And at the time, I didn't know what I was going to do with them. But now I'm using them to stake up squash and zucchini. So just use what you got. So yeah, that's how the garden's doing. I told you that it was going to start exploding here in the next couple of weeks, and it really has. It really has. We're getting lots of cucumbers already, getting a couple tomatoes here and there. I can't wait to start getting some peppers, squash, zucchini, all that kinds of stuff. So I will take you up to another area that I've tried to in-ground garden in and show you what we've got going on up there. Before we head that way, I just wanted to show you these dahlias. Look how gorgeous these things are. In my growing zone, which is 7B, it recommends for calla lilies, which is what that is, and dahlias to be, and canna lilies too, to bring up the tubers in the winter, store them, and then replant them. I've never done that, and these come back every year looking more and more beautiful. I'm actually going to have to thin these because they've grown so well. So we live in the foothills of North Carolina. Lots of hills, lots of rocks. So we kind of have to garden around that. This is my in-ground bed of strawberries. And then I've got asparagus over there. It's kind of growing wild. And no, I did not plant my strawberries that close together. They have just sent out runners to every empty spot there is. I will have to go through and thin those here soon. Working on turning this area an orchard and a big in-ground garden. We had a bunch of trees cleared when we first moved here, but it's still kind of shady, so we're going to have to cut back into this tree line a little bit more than we did originally. Over here, oh, I'm so excited. My corn is coming up. I do not intend to keep this mesh hoop thing over my corn and okra that I just planted here. However, it's what I had. At the time, I didn't have time to put a fence up. You've heard me talk about how many deer we have here. We also have a lot of squirrels. My chickens like to dig up seed. So when I planted all of these corn seeds, I just put this over it. I'm going to lift up this mesh here so you can see better. Look at all those little baby corns coming up. Beautiful. Very excited about that. Make sure if you take time to actually plant something that you're protecting it, because the animals, they want to eat, and they just think that you planted a buffet for them. So we've had to be very conscious of that. You may have seen when in my last garden tour video, I had some little okra starts. Well, here are the okras. I have put them in the ground, and so they're doing very good up here, which is wonderful. You see we've got that red heavy clay soil. One thing about growing in that red heavy clay soil is you've just got to make sure that you're feeding your plants good. So we try to fertilize and take care of them. I'll have to weed those a lot more, which is one of the reasons why I like the raised beds, because you don't have to weed as much. You can see them a little better, but in the in-ground garden, you just got to weed. You just got to do it. Last thing I'll show you today, I did a video. Got some trees from Starks Bros Nursery. I did buy the protectors for the bottom of the trees there in case something little got in. This is more, I guess this is called goat fence maybe. It's smaller. I don't know. Anyways, we got this from, I think, Lowe's. But you can see I've got my fig tree there. She is really starting to shine. Look at those beautiful leaves. She self-pollinates, so we only needed one. Over here I've got 2 different apple trees. This is the Grand Gala apple. See a little bit of growth on that one. This came as a bare root. And then this one over here is the Pink Lady. So these will cross-pollinate and help each other out. So my dream for this area is to have all in-ground garden here once we get those trees cleared out, and then do kind of like an orchard in the back of the property there. Of course, I will keep my in-ground beds because I just absolutely love those. So thanks for coming on my second week of June garden tour. I'm very excited with how everything is going. Like I said, I started this channel just to help others, inspire others, but also inspire myself to keep up with what I planted and to make me get out in the garden even on days that it's hot or days that I'm busy. And it's working. I'm very proud of where the garden's at today. All that rain we got in the beginning of the season definitely helped us. So if you're interested in this content, please like, share, subscribe, follow. Again, I'm in zone 7B, so that may help you following somebody that's in a zone similar than you. If you're not sure what zone you're in, just do a quick Google search. It's very easy to find. But thanks for coming along. I hope to see you next week. Have a blessed week. Bye.